Okay. The definition of a function we've already done. We just practiced it together as a class. A relation in which every element in the domain corresponds with exactly one element of the range. Okay. What is domain? Domain is the inputs. Generally speaking, it is the x values. And we refer to it as the independent variable. So the independent variable, very important. For example, we are coming up to winter here, and there are two things that are related. Number one, temperature outside, and number two, heating cost. Can somebody tell me how they are related? As temperature decreases, the cost of heat increases. They are inversely related, okay? Inverse relationship. So we would say that one causes the other. So does the cost of the cost of heat, does that determine the temperature, or does the temperature determine the cost of heat? Temperature determines the cost of heat. So you see, temperature is the independent variable. It would be the x value, whereas the cost, that's the dependent one. Okay? So the range would be the outputs, the y values, otherwise known as the dependent variable. Not a nice man. Okay, so what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to look at these graphs. I've talked about many different ways in which we identify domain. Today's the easy day, tomorrow's the difficult day, okay? And as we try to identify domain, I think the best way to do it is because domain is x equals, domain is x equals, I'm going to take an x equals equation. Is an x equals equation a vertical line or a horizontal line? X equals is a vertical line, isn't it? So I'm going to drag this vertical line across, and wherever it touches, that means I have domain values. So is the graph ever going here? How about here? How about here? So it starts to pick up domain values at -5, and it goes all the way until we get to, and then there's nothing at -2, is there? And then it picks up again after that, doesn't it? Okay, all the way to 6, but there's not a value at 6. So therefore, the domain is as follows. -5 to -2. Union, -2 to 6. Now, what can you say regarding the range values? For the range values, I'm going to drag a horizontal line. That horizontal line will start down and come up. When do I start to have values on the graph? Just -2 and just 4. If they are specific values and they do not include everything in between, we use what is referred to as roster notation. So -2 and +4. That means it's not everything between -2 and 4, it's just the values -2 and 4. This next one, you see an arrow taking off in that direction. So as I drag this on over, will the graph go here eventually? Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Where does it run out? Right, so from -infinity to +5. How about for range values? -infinity all the way up to 3. The next one is a line. Notice the domain is -infinity to infinity, otherwise known as all real numbers. Okay, we move on down to this one, okay? I drag it across, and I start where? -4 to +1. And the vertical line yeah, -infinity to +infinity. Next one is an oval. Where do I start to pick up x values? Yep, -2 to +2. And the range values? -4 to +4. And the last one, domain. Yep, -infinity to infinity. It looks like it maybe just is going to go straight down, but it's a parabola. It goes on in each direction. So we have -infinity to infinity, otherwise known again as all real numbers. So if you did put this symbol, that would be fine as well. And then how about the range? Yeah, from -infinity, and I go up to a value of 5. Now, that blue dot, I didn't have there earlier, and I just want to make sure that we all understand. Some people were confused about like when there's dots and when there's not. There doesn't have to be a blue dot there in order for it to go up to 5 or include the 5. That blue dot is just, it's just part of the red. So see how the red goes up there? There's an infinite number of dots on this graph. Whether the dot is drawn or not, so that graph is exactly the same as that graph. And this red graph is the same as that graph, which is the same as that graph, which is the same as, I mean, you can put dots anywhere on the graph and it still means the same thing, okay? So please don't confuse that, okay? So that's all I have for a lesson today. You have enough time, actually, to get your assignment done. It is posted online, the answer key, and you should be ready to go. I'm going to start cleaning my room because it's an absolute mess. Yes.